On today's episode, I have with me a pencil and a paper. So meaning I have written things down. I don't want to put false information out there. So in today's video, it's going to be like a lecture. Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Yes, my name is Emmanuel Yafe, and in this episode we're going to be talking about F1 post completion OPT work authorization. So somebody might be like, what is this OPT all about? People have heard about it but they don't know what exactly it stands for. So in this episode we're going to delve right into it. So we are basically going to talk about how USCIS explains what OPT is. Secondly, we're going to talk about eligibility, what makes one eligible to apply for this type of work authorization. And then number 3, we're going to talk about the new updates to the USCIS OPT policy. And lastly, we'll look into the step-by-step approach to apply for this type of work authorization. Now let's start. How do we define post-completion OPT? So it's a type of training that the USCIS or Employment Authorization or USCIS has adjudicated. It is available to eligible F1 students for the purpose of gaining practical experience from their degree program that they did outside of the classroom. But before you would be able to apply for this work authorization, first, an F1 student requires an OPT recommendation from OGS from their school, and then afterwards you use it to apply for this OPT program. If you're successful, USCIS is going to approve it, and then afterwards you're going to receive your employment authorization documentation in a form of a card that you would be using for a period of 12 months during this program. So now let's talk about eligibility. Before you be eligible for this, there are 5 things that USCIS is looking for from your application before giving you an approval or before being successful to receive this employment authorization documentation. And this post completion authorization, employment authorization, is given for a maximum of 12 months, and it's only given to each one of the higher degree levels of schooling, which includes the bachelor's, master's, and then PhD. What USCIS looks for is number 1, a student that has maintained a valid F1 student visa, or a student that has a valid F1 visa. Number 2, a student that has been enrolled in a full-time for at least 1 academic year. Number 3, you have to have completed fewer than 365 days of full-time CPT at a degree level, bachelor's, master's, or PhD, for which you are applying for OPT. Number 4, you have to have completed all your academic coursework prior to your thesis or dissertation. That is when you can put in an application. And number 5, most important of all, you have to be in the United States before you put in this application. Let's say out of the blue something happens and you travel outside of the United States. Before putting in your application, the USCIS is going to reject your application and you would be ineligible to apply for this. But if you're surely going to do your post-completion OPT and then you need this work authorization, please apply while you are in the United States before you leave. Make sure you've applied, make sure the USCIS has received it, and make sure you've paid for it before you travel outside of the United States. Now let's move on to number 3. Let's talk about application timeline. Application timeline for this whole process is in 2 folds. Don't forget, we have the 90-day fold and then the 60-day fold. So the 90-day fold is the period before your program end date. So now let me explain what this whole program end date is all about. So the program end date is the end date on your I-20. this is the part that confuses most people about this whole application. Okay, so on your I-20, when you receive it, or while you are coming to school, you know, for immigration purposes, they give this certain date, assuming that you'd be able to complete your whole program by that period of time. So when I was coming to the United States, my program end date was the 20th of December 2025. Now when I got here, I did, like, I pushed most of the courses together. I did a lot of courses during summer, and so, which was during school break, and so my program end date moved forward. So instead of graduating on the 20th of December 2025, I had to graduate on 8th of May 2025, because I took most of the programs earlier before, you know, the semesters that I was supposed to take them. So now OGS issued a new I-20 to me. So they changed the program end date from the 20th of December 2025 and moved it to 8th May 2025, because I was completing my whole program in spring. Okay, so now classes ended on the 24th of April, but the whole biotech program, marking of, you know, scripts and all of that, ended on May 8th. So that is the one that OGS put on my I-20. So now the 90-day period starts counting from, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then May 8th would be day 90. So you are allowed to apply for this post OPT employment authorization 90 days before the program end date on your I-20. So that is the first rule, and then that is only if you have a job. Okay, like for me, whilst I was on my co-op, I was given a full-time offer to continue with the job that I was doing already. So now I know, rest assured, that before I even graduate, I already had a job. So now I put in my application. So my application was put in during that 90-day period before my program end date, because right after school I was starting my full-time job. Do you get me? So that is the explanation for the first part of it, the 90-day period. Because I had a job, I put in my application during the 90-day period. Now let's skip to the 60-day period. So now the 60-day period is termed as the grace period by the USCIS. Okay, please follow me, don't lose track. Okay, so now the 60-day period is more like, during the 90-day period, you didn't have, you know, you didn't get a job, you applied to so many jobs, you didn't get anything. Now your program has ended, okay, and then you are still looking for jobs. USCIS has given you a 60-day grace period. You are still looking for jobs. Oh, God being so good, you get a job within that 60-day period. You're still supposed to put in your application. Don't wait till you get a job before you put in your application when you are in a 60-day grace period. I repeat, when you are in the 60-day grace period, please put in your OPT work authorization. Don't wait for the grace period to end. So now you get a job within that 60-day grace period. Hooray! You apply to this OPT work authorization. Now the 60-day grace period is about to end. You still haven't gotten a job, but you've put in your application for the OPT, because I said don't wait for the grace period to end before you put in your application. Okay, so now you've put in your application. You get to a point where they are asking you, oh, when would your full-time job start, or when are you starting your job? You haven't gotten a job yet, but you're in this grace period. You've put in the application. Put the 59th day. So like mine, let's say my 60-day period ends on the 21st of May. Do you get me? It ends on the 21st of May. You are supposed to put the 20th of May, which is the 59th day before the 60-day period. Put that date in your application when you are applying. Okay, mind you, with OPT, with post-completion OPT, it's a 12-month period. So you select the day it starts. It's not USCIS that is going to select it for you, and it's not your job that is going to choose that date for you. It is only when you have a job between the 90-day fold or the 60-day fold that you choose the day that your employment is starting. Your employer has told you to start work. That is the date you put there. But if you don't have a job, still apply and then put the 59th day on the application. And so also do not forget that USCIS, until you have received your employment authorization documentation, which is in a form of a card that has your details and the start date of the OPT and the end date of the OPT on it, do not start work if you've not received your EAD card. Wait till you receive your EAD card before you start work. Now, the last thing that I'm going to say to wrap this whole video up so that it doesn't end up being long is that USCIS has made updates to their old policy. You know, previously when I was applying, we had to download the I-795 form and then fill it and then re-upload it to USCIS. But now they've made things easier. So now you get to create a portal in USCIS and then electronically fill the whole application or file for the whole application on your USCIS portal that you've created. Number 2, previously we used to take pictures using the American requirements and then upload it during the whole application filing. Now you still have to do that, take a picture with the requirements that they need and then upload it whilst applying or filling your I-795 form. But here is a situation whereby if it's been 3 years more or 3 years after the USCIS has taken your biometrics or have taken a picture of you, USCIS is going to issue an appointment scheduling notice to you. So make sure that you always check your USCIS portal just to be sure if they've updated your case history. Okay, after you've finished the whole application, you've paid for it, and then you've submitted it to USCIS, make sure you pay attention to your emails. And what this is for is that they will schedule an appointment with you with USCIS in your vicinity or in your city, where you go to USCIS office, go get your biometrics done and a picture taken of you for this application. And the other updates that they've done is previously they used to issue social security numbers to F1 students who were applying for post-completion OPT. But now Social Security Administration has made changes to this fact. So now USCIS and SSA, Social Security Administration, doesn't issue this thing to you automatically. I mean the SSN. What they now do is that after you have received your OPT EAD card, you yourself will go to the Social Security Administration office, the local one in your city, yourself with your employment authorization card or your OPT card, and then you go put in an application for your social security number. So if you're someone that has not done on-campus job, you didn't get maybe a co-op or internship or anything that would make you eligible to get a social security number. So during this application, you don't have a social security number. Don't worry. Once you get a job and then you start you're about starting your OPT and then you receive your OPT EAD card, you can go to the Social Security Administration office in your city yourself and then apply for a social security number. I am going to shoot a second video explaining the whole step-by-step process of applying for post-completion OPT. Thank you for watching. My name is Emanuela once again. Don't forget to tell a friend that Emanuela has posted, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and put all your questions down in the comment section, and I'll do well to answer all of your questions for you. Thank you so much for sticking and staying with me. Bye bye.